Welcome into the Fantasy Sanctuary. I am your humble host, Tyler, aka Emo Cowboy, on Twitter, on Underdog. It's week 15, week one of the fantasy playoffs. Thursday night football put a lot of folks either well ahead of their opponents who played a bunch of crappy players that scored no touchdowns, or put you in a really bad spot with Cooper Kupp dropping a goose egg, Juwan Jennings catching almost none of his 9 targets, and none of the players getting touchdowns. So we are here, week 15, week one of the playoffs, getting you your wins because it's make or break, baby. Here to answer all your start sit questions. Drop them in the chat. Subscribe to the channel in order to ask your questions. I will get to each and every one of your questions to help you set your best lineup, put your best foot forward, and win to get on to week 16, the second round of the playoffs. For those of us unlucky enough not to get that first week bye. So without further ado, I will be ripping a few battle royales, going through news and notes, going through all the press conference information that the lovely, fine Greg Reynos over at Coach Speak Index has consolidated for us. Went through all of the news and notes for every team, and then gonna keep an eye on any late breaking news, especially for a few of those game time decision players like Ladd McConkey and Bucky Irving. They're gonna be testing out and getting their pregame warmups in to ensure that they're gonna play or not. And look at some of the fantasy docs, expectations for a couple of production dips or workload reductions. So without further ado, let's get into it. Like I said, I'm going to rip a BR as I go through notes because it's, of course, 30K up top to first. So drop your start sit questions in the chat. Going to answer them here as I rip some drafts and look through news and notes. Got to multitask when you can. Put the banner on, and there we go. Feeling good after getting back from Dallas at the live final, the Dog Bowl. The fine folks at Underdog took really good care of us. Had a great time. All right, let's see. Live breaking news that Pollard and Breece, as expected, are both active, and David Njoku is inactive today. The hamstring with late week news, not practicing, always going to be tough to get in there for Njoku, and he does not, as expected. At least I expect. I know he's played late through some stuff, but, just really tough to get in there. Put my swap rankings. Let's see. We're going to be on the clock in a little bit. I think we're going to go. Stover's out, so I guess Schultz. Ferg. There we go. It should be my swap ranks. Back to the main one. What's up, JM? How you doing? How are you recovered from the Dog Bowl? I know you didn't go as hard as we did, but took me a couple days to recover. How's that looking on the screen? There we go. All right. So Allen falling here to the 5. Hard not to take him, considering the matchup, considering what his ceiling is. And I want all the parts of that game. I don't expect Breece Hall to get all of the workload this week with the knee injury. I expect one of, if not both, Braylon and Isaiah Davis to kind of fill in with stuff. His matchup's fantastic. He got a full practice in, so I don't, he's obviously feeling good enough to do that, but it's tough to really figure out how that's going to shake out with the workload, considering sweating best ball indeed, man. Yeah, Thursday night, happy to see no BBMs with Cooper Kupp, but the Puka teams sure could have used a long touchdown to help the few teams that dragged his inactive for half the season ass to the playoffs. drop a big ass fucking, 20, 25, 30 points would have been fantastic. I just won't be surprised if there's a lot of low scoring outside of like the Detroit game and the Ravens. And even then, the Ravens could really just play a really funky, weird game. Wouldn't surprise me at all if they just get like a bunch of short fields and just kind of like coast, against DeVito. Wouldn't be surprised at all. Smells like a day where like Justice Hill somehow matches Derrick Henry when he's the heavy chalk. I know the Copers are hoping that AJ Brown just totally gets the squeaky wheel narrative that worked so well for Debo. No, I know Debo's washed, but yeah, I mean I know the Copers are hoping Saquon gets heavily outscored by AJ Brown and company. The passing game just hasn't. It's been off. Matt on Twitter saying Ravens players a big risk to rest starters in the second half. I mean, we always say this. I think week 15 coming out of the bye week, probably not, unless they're up like 4 fucking scores. And at that point, it might not matter. If the starter scored, the starter scored, right? If Henry gets a score or 2, Andrews gets a score or 2, I think it's far more likely. All right, let's see. I really like Monty. I think I'll get him back at the wrap. Hill versus Houston seems fantastic. The passing game there has been much more effective. Yeah, I think we're gonna go Hill, a little bit of ADP value, be done with our receivers. So the thing with the resting thing is that like the Ravens are an organization that do not care about dropping 50. So if they're resting that, I mean, we've seen the Lions. The Lions got up big, like what 40 points going in like the first half or something like that, 6-7 weeks ago, and they still played into like, I think they played into like a couple minutes in the fourth quarter. But you're right, yeah. Like they've got much more serious matchups coming out, but they also did just come out of a bye week. So I think the resting thing is much more along the lines of, I don't think Jonnu is enough to. I think the running backs for Buffalo are likely to get a lot of passing work. Monty himself has been getting consistently about 2-3 targets, receptions a game. So I expect the Lions running backs to get a lot of passing work, which boosts a guy like David Montgomery's projected points up. So back to the Ravens thing. I expect them to score and then control the game. So I don't know about rest so much as not try very hard. And that really just depends on how bad they're beating up on DeVito and how they're locking down Neighbors. Because Neighbors is good enough to do the wonky shit that Chase has done to them, like take a 20-yard dig pass all the way to the house and make it interesting. Special teams can be wonky, so it depends. Ravens have played a couple of weird games where they let bad teams stick around. They're not as dominant as the Lions week in and week out, compared to like really bad competition, just for whatever the fuck it is. I think it's probably just defense, honestly. Yeah, I don't know if they're resting so much as they're just not putting their foot on the gas, which could be the same thing when it comes to that. But yeah, I would not be surprised if they kind of load manage Henry this game, considering it's week 15 against a player that they should have no problem beating. So as a Justice Hill slappy in the best ball offseason, be nice to see him get some work. Could be a game where Keaton Mitchell gets worked more, if they are up ahead quite a bit. I didn't see, so looking at the Coach Speak Index, there's not a lot of useful nuggets this week, really, which isn't shocking, especially for the teams coming off bye. The only 2 really quotes in the last few days are about Andrews, so wonder, does the Henry game flop at the expense of Andrews getting there this week? Perhaps, maybe. Wouldn't doubt it. Connor's got a nice matchup versus New England. I like Dowdle a lot. Dowdle was getting some talk about third down work from McCarthy this week is like the one area he'd like him to focus on, which I find pretty interesting. We know we need some scroll down plays, though. So it's like, do I Shakir? Like, is it chalky to Shakir to Allen again? I mean, the Travis Kelce slide is interesting. I'll take Kelce and see what happens. Running back scrolls, I don't mind Pollard versus Cincy at all. I kind of like Rachaad White to take some of the work away from Bucky. That said, matchup's not going to be nearly as good as it's been versus Vegas and Carolina last 2 weeks. I mean, I guess I'm just going to scoop up the value here and call it a day. Whatever. Get another one in. So wait for your start sit questions and whatever else you'd like to talk about. You got best ball sweats you want to talk about. You want to tilt some shit. I'm here for any and all of that. Britton Strange filling in for Ingram, but Mac Jones at quarterback really hampers the upside you'll get from a guy like that. I really don't want Strange unless I'm really in a pinch in like tight end premium or something. Like guys like Zach Ertz, Kincaid, I'm more likely to play. Keon Coleman, full practiced and full go. So that could be an interesting scroll down play. He was kind of coming on before missing some time. He's a big play threat. Detroit, they're going to have to go through the air. We've seen Buffalo have no problem attacking full pass and abandoning the run. I am the KY asking where am I ranking Pacheco today. I know Peter ranked him better. It's like an interesting scroll down guy. He's looked much better than I would have thought. And hold on. So his workload's moving up, his efficiency's moving up. They're still not giving him as many targets, and they're still working in other guys. So I'm kind of hesitant to be aggressive on him, all things considered. It's hard to Mixon versus Nico. I want Nico. I'll go Mixon here. I'm worried a little bit about Juice Scruggs, guard, potentially being out today on an already bad line. So as far as Pacheco's concerned, the targets he was really not getting that much even before he was out. I mean, like the Cincinnati game, you got to remember, like their defense is atrocious and they were chasing a lot. They're still splitting time with some Hunt and they're still trying to make like the short passing game work. So he's fine. They're just such a bad team and they're just willing to crank it out. So he's still kind of like a touchdown or bust type of Houston double could be fun. I don't know. I think I'd rank him behind Pollard because Pollard's been getting the workhorse role. He gets a practice in. The Cincinnati matchup's better. I just don't think they're going to hammer Pacheco like they would like Chubb got hammered versus Cleveland to get there. Defense isn't that good, but I don't know. He feels much more like Rachaad White and Najee Harris right now than maybe his namesake would suggest. We should still expect him to be a little bit hampered efficiency-wise another week or two, which is, they likely know that. We've kind of seen that with his efficiency thus far. So he's in that RB3 plus range. You're happy with RB2 output, but he probably needs a touchdown to get there. You know. But with Jameis Winston, maybe they didn't have short field stuff. But they've been using this like weird 2 tight end shit, feeding guys like Noah Gray and Hopkins. So yeah, that one's tough. Just talking about Breece active. I think Rachaad White might get more work. And Bucky probable. They didn't elevate, but they have no problem leaning on the guy that's healthy. So man, Lamar versus Jaden is a tough one for me. Like I said, like the wonky shit coming out of the bye. I want to stack up Jaden with Terry. That seems fun. So Breece versus White. Breece, obviously, much better matchup. And White's been so bad outside of just like touchdown work. So hard to trust him there. Hard to know exactly. They were pretty confident about Breece. Patrick Thorman has White ranked 25th and Breece 30th in half PPR. So I tend to I want to lean against knee injury stuff. We saw him be active in that previous game. You fucking cocksucker. God damn it. I could go Monty over Chuba. I think I will. So the thing with I got too much going on. I kind of lean White just because the passing role is still there, and they've been really fluid about who they're putting in at the goal line. And the injury docs note that the type of injury Bucky's got, they tend to work. And so that's the thing is like, and we saw Breece kind of like get out of the sideline and be rested with the knee sprain stuff. So it's like, I don't know, man. They just saw Braylon and Isaiah Davis fill in really, really well. And like, how motivated is the team going to be to like load him up in a meaningless game? Pulling up the Jets coach speak, there wasn't a ton of indication. It was simply that on the 12th, Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis will do anything to help us win. They're eager and excited to get better techniques, blah, blah, blah. 13th, Breece looks good right now. It's promising. His designation says questionable, but we're hopeful. So obviously they're going to play him. I just don't know how much they're going to lean on him after getting some good usage. So as far as like where the workload could break, Breece and Bucky are both kind of like re-injury risks, and only White benefits from that outcome, right? Whereas LA's kind of a bad matchup. Judy's been cooking. Kansas City's defense has been kind of garbage. Shakir's interesting. Chamo's interesting. Waddle. I think we're going to do Waddle. Get off the board a little bit. Waddle the later ADP. Nice correlation with my doubles. Laporta in the Buffalo game is fun. Ertz. David Njoku's out. Don't draft him. Who is going to fucking just wonky break this shit? I probably need to go Ertz to stack up, huh? He's just he's basically Kincaid, touchdown or bust. Let's stack it. Stack it, later ADPs. That's my thought. Breece or Bucky may not get much run. Well, they could get early run, and then Bucky, especially if his back like spasms or re-aggravates, and he's dealing with a back, a hip, and a toe like all season long. The dude's real banged up. And the back stuff, if it acts up, he's out, right? White's going to get there with receiving stuff, and they trust him at the goal line because of his size. It's not a great matchup for him, obviously, but I think I and Thorman both think he's likely to get more work. What's up, Buck St. Thomas? Buck St. Thomas, is this Buck Duck Avatar in the Discord? Peanut Butter Jelly Time, by the way. Love the username. Yeah, so I and Thorman lean White and half PPR. Just knee sprain. We've seen Puka re-aggravate, his PCL knee thing. They said it's not structural, so that's the good part. The problem is it's just it is knee stuff. And Bucky's back and hip and toe stuff. What's their motivation to load both guys up? So if I was doing like pick'ems for like touches, I'd take the under on Bucky for sure. Breece pretty volatile, but I'd be pretty comfortable taking the under on the rushing stuff. And as far as like starting them, I'm just not comfortable starting guys that, Breece at least got a full practice in. So I feel better about Breece than I do about Bucky for sure. But first round of the playoffs, I'm not comfortable starting guys in my lineup that are injury risks if I have a healthy option, personally. No start-sit questions. Everybody's like, I cranked it out. I did it. I don't trust you, you fucking weirdo. Fair enough. Touche. But if you do have start-sit questions you'd like to oppo me or get my insight for, I do grind all the news and I bring the vibes and I check the ranks for you. Who gets more snaps, Diami or Luke? Right. Diami got like 1 week of snaps, and then it was nada. So here's the coach speak on this. Osborne will be available. I'd say that he'll have a hard time at this point getting him charged up. We're in the process of getting it going. So it's going to be one of the guys, like I speculated last week, that they already have in-house. Un momento, por favor. I think I just keep fading the big dog. And I fucking will. So as far as that, we didn't really get any indication from what I see in coach speak. And then I want to say Terry McLaurin was asked and said that he thinks Diami can fill in for the wide receiver too. So it's like Luke's more of like the slot guy. So it's probably Diami that gets more snaps because he's the bigger body that can do the thing. Okay, yeah. So So the comments a couple days ago were that he wasn't likely to get worked in, which is obvious. That's basically Diami. Shitty guy that can work out outside too. It's probably Diami. Luke's more the slot guy. I'm looking through. And he said something about the opportunity has presented itself, take advantage. So yeah, probably Diami getting more snaps. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets more snaps, but Luke McCaffrey randomly gets more opportunities. Jameer, absolutely. I'd like to do this again. Question is, can I? We'll try to push it. I really want Gibbs. The other thing too is like Washington could be blowing the ass off of the Jake Haener Saints, and then they get like Luke and the other rookies going. Wouldn't this be hilarious if like Luke and Ben Sinnott get some work in cleanup duty? The dream. Once again, folks, if you have start-sit questions as we get to an hour before kickoff, drop them in the chat as I draft a Battle Royale chasing $30,000 to first. Ran pure on my pick'ems in Dallas last week. Hit a Isaiah Davis touchdown, Braylon under rushing attempts, and Achane fantasy points, which, my God, what a sweat that was, because he goes out for like a quarter with injury, and then they start having him on the field but not throwing to him when he's like wide open on the swing passes they've been feeding him on all season. He clears by like half a point. Hit that for like $400. Had a Monday Night Football Dowdle-centric pick that hit for like another $200. Punted that away to some pick'ems this morning and some battle royales. Not many weeks of the fantasy season left, unless you're playing playoff best ball, which I don't think is super valuable to do until this week wraps up. Indy could go from not making the playoffs at all to being a heavy favorite to making the playoffs. So, let's see. All right, we're on the clock. He doesn't come back, but that's fine. We'll stack him up with Burrow. And then the question is, do we do Dowdle or Lamb? I think I like Dowdle more versus Carolina. And then the tight end will have to be our scroll, which is fine. By the way, guys, Stone Smart, Greg Roman specifically mentioned using him as a blocker. So I think he's going to get a lot of snaps. I don't know that he's going to get a lot of pass work. He seems like he might be more counted on as a blocker. Let me pull up the exact quote. For those of you DFS folks looking for cheap tight end. What's up, G? Where's the quote on this? There we go. Greg Roman on Stone Smart stepped up big time on game day. He really gave us a boost, especially in the play action game. He did some good blocking too. He's an underrated blocker. I will use him to definitely do some blocking. So buyer beware. I think Stone Smart's really potentially viable if Lad's out. Otherwise, you're kind of booked. All right, looking for correlation here. Do we do a little gross shit? Chig was wide open for a touchdown. Bring back on the Cincy stuff. Do we scroll all the way down for that in the Battle Royale? Or do we consolidate the Dallas game? Do we get the headless Jaden double stack? Freiermuth been running pure. Philly's typically weak against tight ends. They've all been struggling, so just won't be surprised if it's a struggle bus game. Schultz without Cade Stover and Brevin Jordan towards ACL weeks ago. Isaiah Likely with a high-scoring affair. Decisions. What say you, chat? I'm leaning less. I mean, tight ends all touchdown or bust, right? Just Levis has been so fucking shit. We'll have some correlation. Well, I guess while we wait to see if anybody comes and asks, do a little check-in on stream drafts. Let's see what we got. Let's see, where is it? Let's see, we got the Pete stream that's got Burrow, Nix, Gibbs, Ramondre, Tajay, Algier, Braylon Allen, Wilson, Flowers, Higgins, Worthy. I mean, the slappiest of slappy picks. Jesus Christ. Palmer, Downs, seems like he's going to play. That'd be fucking sick. Little Troy Franklin, little Andre Yoshivas. Kittle did dick all, but we got the Chig. And we got this off-stream draft we did with Purple Yosh. Make sure y'all can see. Oh, God, it's sharing like barely any fucking. Hold on. I hate when it does that. There we go. That's better. Let's see. This one, Lamar, Bijan, Monty, B-Rob, Charbonnet, Roschon. I mean, just a fucking nutted running back room for week 15. Super exciting. Nico, hell yeah. Flowers, McLaurin, Jaden Jamo, dead, posted. Surprisingly, hit our lineup last week with 2 tutties, Yo-Yo, Komet, Fant, and Jawan. I have full faith this team will be fine today. I love to see drafts like this that fucking make it through. I didn't even look at I haven't really looked at these until today. Tua, Bo, Monty, Warren, Connor, Chase, Brown, Bucky. Wow, that's a nice running back room. Especially if it makes it through and Bucky's healthier next week. Reek, Evans, Waddle, Cooper, Pickens, Hop, Mims, Jonnu. Nice. What made this a shit draft? I think this was a comma. What happened? Did I just not think he was going to come back? Why did I think this was a shit draft? I'm trying to look at this fucking board. Why did I think this was shit? Because I ended up with Marvin Mims? I don't understand. I don't remember why I thought this is a shitty draft. It's fine. And then I believe we have a super flex stream draft. Where is it? Yeah. Elijah Mitchell. Gotta love it. Pickens out again. Mike Williams might fill in more. Seem pretty decent usage coach speak from Mike Tomlin about Mike Williams. So could see more Mike Williams than Calvin Austin, at least utilization-wise. Maybe that's a big bump for Freiermuth again, now that I think about it. I had not considered Freiermuth getting a passing boost with Pickens out again. All right. Y'all are so sweaty this morning with your main events, your home league drafts, your best ball sweats. Y'all are quiet today. I get everybody locking in. Well, I will probably shut this down soon, let everybody get back to their pre-kickoff rituals in order to lock in. Oh, I see. We're getting absolutely dominated by Davis, Maddock, and the awesome dudes at Josh and Hayden Underdog. Super fun meeting those folks. Super fun. Pete Overzet, Best Ball After Dark with friend in real life, friend of the channel, Mathology. It's too bad our Mathology stream team couldn't have made it through. That would have been a fun sweat. I would love. So I'm telling y'all right now, if any of our drafts make it to week 17, I will live sweat the entire time. Oh, we got Dylan Fink asking full PPR. Lost Walker this week. Need upside isn't down against a good team. This channel would always tell you the upside is what you want every week. One flex, one tight end out of the below. JMO, Devonta, Ertz, Schultz, Muth. Thanks in advance. You're very welcome, Dylan. Thanks for subscribing. Hit the like as I answer your question and give you a full in-depth rundown. So JMO's definitely got the most upside. As long as AJ Brown's on the field, Devonta's not seeing as much, especially when it comes to the passing offense. So it's JMO over Smith easily. Higher total, higher expected pace. We just saw the Bills and the Rams be the highest scoring affair. The Lions have been one of the best scoring offenses, if not the highest scoring game in and of their own offensive scoring, multiple weeks this season. So as far as like team total, game total, passing efficiency, and single week upside, I lean JMO. Even in PPR, I will check expert consensus ranks in order to. I'll give you both sides of the story. So, let's see. Let me do Lewis Smith. I mean, the Philly passing offense has just been atrocious. Hard to trust him. If AJ Brown was out, that'd be one thing. But you've got AJ Brown potentially getting a squeaky wheel game as well as the passing offense. And yeah, Pat Thorman of ETR, who I reference almost exclusively, has a slight lean to JMO over Smith as well. And then as far as tight ends, Schultz has got a nice little bump with Stover out today, being sick from that standpoint. But that passing offense has kind of been he's real touchdown or bust. Most tight ends are. Ertz, probably the strongest role in PPR. So it's probably Ertz or Muth. I think I lean Ertz. Yeah, I think it's gonna be Ertz. Muth, like he's got like no one else is playing type of thing, but that means the whole pass offense could suffer. Expert ranks and Pat Thorman agree with me. They have Ertz as a top 10 tight end this week. So JMO, Ertz, good luck. Dylan. Josh. Gaon. Half PPR. Do I plug Brees in over Ramondre in my flex? Ooh, that is kind of the line, isn't it? Jesus. Ramondre. Gibson just got some strong workload and strong talk about how they could interchange both guys, and that Stevenson needed to work on ball control. He was called a bell cow 2 weeks ago. They just had to buy. Both offenses, oh man, they're like neck and neck, aren't they? Yeah, I think you got to go Stevenson, brother. Let me check Mueller's note on him real quick. I am curious what he thinks about the Brees knee thing. Thorman has him ranked. I think you got to go Stevenson in your flex over Brees. I'm worried that Brees is just not going to get the full complement. Let's see. Yeah, I think you just got to go Stevenson coming out of the bye week. Arizona, not exactly shutting people down. Oh, hold on, Josh. And then you had two of Reed, MHJ, Odunze, and Smith. You can't play Jaden Reed right now. You just can't. They're rotating guys. Watson's got the best matchup of the three, followed by Reed, and then Dobbs probably going to struggle today. And just the way they've been running the ball. MHJ's got the best matchup. Odunze gets there with 2 touchdown catches, but hadn't been like lighting it up. Odunze versus Smith is probably where it is. And then I think MHJ for sure. Smith versus Odunze. God damn it, G, giving me that shit. Thorman's got Roman Smith like back to back. Josh, here's the deal. If Thorman's got him ranked back to back with Smith slightly edging out Rome, I would go so we just saw Minnesota put up a shit ton of points. So I like the team totals better. The receiving yards allowed are better. The receiving touchdowns allowed are better for Minnesota. I believe Minnesota is more capable of putting up more points, and in a shootout, I like the Vegas total lean. I think I'd go Marv and Odunze. I'm having trouble like trusting in the Devonta Smith Philly passing offense versus Pittsburgh defense. So that's my recommendation, Josh. Is Stevenson for your flex, and then MHJ and Odunze. Good luck, brother. Hope you score all the fucking points. Yeah, exactly. Especially with Isaiah Davis and Braylon Allen filling in just fine. I just don't know how they load him up with a knee sprain. All right, G with the fucking Breece or Bucky. God damn it. Probably Breece. I think Bucky's risk of seeing less workload. Historically speaking, guys coming off of like back, toe, and hip stuff, not getting a full practice. Breece full practicing, I think. Me and Jeff Mueller both believe Breece is probably a better bet for workload. What do the experts think? Yeah, it's hard to trust Bucky without getting much practicing, especially with how much they just trust Rhamondre to handle everything. Well, if it makes you feel better, Thorman agrees with me by 6 spots. G, if you're in Breece versus Bucky, I think you gotta go Breece. Yeah, good luck, brother. And a main event, y'all looking at RB1 or RB2 for main event. Bucky versus until Bucky's able to get like one, like unless he's able to go LP, or get in a full practice, this back stuff is shitty. Because the other thing too is like he's probably gonna be limited with the back thing for the rest of the season. And if it flares up randomly, he's fucked. Like they just gotta take him out. Similar to like the Hemi stuff. What are we drinking? Agua from my Diet Sprite cup. It's holographic, so it's super annoying. And a Monster Energy because we are cranking out on the slate today. The games kick off. My ass is in the gym because it's been like 2 weeks. Gotta get fucking ripped for Christmas. Gotta get swole for Christmas. For Swoley night, you heard? So yeah, we're drinking water and caffeine to catch up. And then we'll crush some lunch. Oh fuck, I just remembered that. I'm remembering all the things I agreed to do today. Hosting the family for lunch first, then gym. Then wash the new puppy, who smells like my ass. And then I think I've got one more set of lights I put up on the tree outside. And then what the fuck else am I going to do? Dude, I got to go to the DMV this week. I know. I found out at the dog bowl my driver's license was expired, bro. We went to the shooting range, and she's like, your driver's license expired in October because that's when my birthday was. So now this week, I get to go to the fucking DMV on the week before Christmas, get my license renewed because I'm ineligible online. I fucking hate everything. So annoying. All right, folks. Oh, here we go. This is why, Anthony back again. Welcome. I hold it open just so I don't miss anybody. We'll go live for 15 more minutes. Anthony asking Odunze or Vele PPR. Ooh. God. I don't know about Vele just because Indy's defense is so bad that they don't need to lean on him. And jeez. I think you got to go Rome. I think Vele's too cute, frankly. Expert consensus rankings that I trust very much agree with me. Got to go Rome, brother. Chase the point totals. Chase the rookie coming on strong late season. Trust the chemistry going really well. Trust that Moore's a little banged up. Keenan's old. And Minnesota's going to push them, and they've got to look good. Whereas, I mean, Broncos talking about getting McLaughlin more involved this week potentially. Indy's defense is so bad they can just easily lean on the run game. Sutton's been the target hog in that offense. Vele's, that's thin. Later, bro. Have a good one, G. Best ball on call. Man of the people, man of the vibes, as usual, like the stream, brothers and sisters. Thank you. Anthony says, in another league, Kyler or Tua, PPR. Yeah, this is tough because this is like the matchup for Kyler from a passing standpoint. I have a hard time saying pocket passer over rushing threat. That said, oh God, the Cardinals and Kyler have looked so fucking bad, and they just keep going back to the run game. Yeah, that's a tough one, man. Vegas total is almost identical. The New England matchup's just so much better. Will it matter, though? Kyler has to fucking be better. Houston defense hasn't been that good. They're kind of banged up. Tua's been red hot. The Miami offense has been red hot versus where they were rolling out. Wow. Thorman has Kyler ranked 6th. The Slappy consensus say Kyler, brother. You get the rushing. You get the awesome matchup. They have a bye week, but their defense is banged up to shit. Drake May is liable to turn it over. The defense has been strong enough. I understand the hesitation. Kyler's just, he's an easier guy to hit 20 plus. Yeah. It's tough to rank statue quarterback over rushing guy, especially when the matchup is this good. So good luck with Kyler, brother. I understand the temptation roll with Tua, though. JJ96 said last week got 210 points with a Vikings stack. This week ain't got a clue. Dude, yeah, that Vikings offense was the fucking nuts. What, Addison, 3 touchdowns, Jefferson, 2 touchdowns. So yeah, just a shitload of points. Just gotta keep rocking it. Let's see. Got burned a couple times, leaving 2 on my bench, but this is the match. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I think apparently Mostert is expected to play this week, so the worry with Tua is that they just get in the red zone and run it in for all their scores. McDaniel's also kind of low key not aggressive and is totally fine taking field goals. So, and then you saw them kind of struggle a little bit versus a pretty soft, like Charmin soft matchup versus the Jets. So it's like, yeah, it's Kyler can get there with like 40. What's his rushing yard projection? Projections say Kyler, ranks say Kyler. Heuristically, just simplify it. Yeah, Kyler is projected for more. I still like Tua today a lot, but more of like a DFS thing. Tua has been averaging a point more than Kyler, but we know Kyler's got it in him. So, yeah. I get the few folks that have ranked Tua over Kyler, but I like the ETR. Thorman does the pace. He does the ranks. If Kyler's going to get there, it's this week. And if either guy's got, I think Tua is more likely to score, like 30 in most tail outcomes because he's done it more often than Kyler in the last couple of years with this passing matchup. Yeah, I mean, this is his week. All right, y'all. 5 more minutes. I'll shut it down. You have questions, drop them in the chat. Wait for any new subs that are waiting for their sub to get in. And going to check for some last minute news for the fine folks here joining us live. I don't think anything unexpected this morning. In fact, almost all the injury stuff's been pretty expected. Yep, not seeing any news or notes. Dropping 5 more minutes before we shut the stream down. Drop your start set questions. Drop your karma good luck. You need me. I'll throw on the underdog logo cowboy hat and wish you good luck. Ooh. Getting some start set questions in the Discord. In the Discord. In the Discord. Dig it dun 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 dun. Dig it dun dun dun. Yeah, for those of y'all wondering, like Sincere McCormick is ranked over Bucky Irving today. Anthony, one more, said Ramondre or Pacheco. Ooh, yeah, they are probably like back to back. Is it PPR or half PPR, Anthony? Because if it's PPR, I think I definitely lean Ramondre. If it's half PPR, it's probably a little bit more ambiguous. If it's okay, then yeah, Stevenson for me, and the ranks I care about have Stevenson 19, Pacheco 22. So it's definitely closer than you think, but these offenses are more similar than we would have liked as far as output. Kansas City getting Butker back. They have no problem kicking field goals, and Pacheco's just not getting as much workload, like sheer workload. Ceiling is Stevenson. There was worry about splitting with Gibson, but coming out of the bye week, maybe he gets one more chance to like be the bell cow. And Stevenson's used much more in the passing game than Pacheco is right now. So it doesn't feel good, but I think you got to go Stevenson. All right, we're going to go full screen as we count down 2 more minutes to get your start set questions in. Thank you so much for everybody that liked, joined, subbed, new subs, old subs. Appreciate you very much. You've been fantastic. We're on the road to 3,500 subs here on the channel. So appreciate every single one of you. We hit a milestone for 350,000. What was that view count thing? Hold on. Damn it. Forgot the milestone. Classic me. 350,000 views on the channel, on our road to 3,500 subs. So appreciate everybody supporting myself, Tom, and Rich here on the Fantasy Sanctuary. Appreciate everybody coming in weekly, joining me for Start Sit. It's been fun to chop it up with y'all. Look at the news. I sweat my picks, man. All the picks I give you, I'm like, man, I hope I gave them the right ones. It weighs on me. But good luck, everybody. Week 1 of the playoffs. Thank you so much for hitting that like, for hitting that sub, for joining us here. Appreciate each and every one of you. Good luck. It's week 1. You're going to get it. You're going to crush it. You're going to smoke your competition, or it's going to come down to the final minutes. You're going to get that one catch that you needed, that one first down. It's going to feel so good. Good luck. Week 1. Crush it. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll see you next week.